Roland Willett's Ohman Story. Erv and Iris, Romance and Times. Iris and Erv Ohman, and they're going to tell me and you, everyone there, about their meeting.
I was a widow when I was 36, and I was teaching down at Monticello, Minnesota, and I had 4 sons. And when my husband passed away, that I stayed down there and taught. And about 5 years later, she was Mary Resett then, moved to Monticello from Pelican Rapids, and she wanted me to meet her. So he came down one weekend and we met. And that was the end of January. February 14th, Valentine's Day, he gave me a diamond, and we were married March 22nd, all within that short time.
Wow.
And I finished off the school year at Monticello, and then we moved, my boys and I moved to Pelican Rapids. So
Did you have the home? You have the home in town, or the one where it is now?
We are now.
So it's where you are now. Okay. So you two. Yeah, how did the boys like it there? The change.
Well, at first it was kind of hard because they were teenagers and they had to leave their friends in Monticello, which was difficult at the time. But a few months later, I asked if they wanted to go back to Monticello and visit some of their friends, and they said no, they didn't care if they did or not. Particularly one of my boys had a difficult time. And it was hard because it was in the summertime and no school, and they didn't have the opportunity to meet too many kids. But we had some good friends that just lived a short distance from us, or Erv was good friends with, and they had boys that were the same age as my boys. So they finally got together, and then it was okay. They were happy. But of course, when they grew up, they were never going to come back to Pelican Rapids again and live. But I now have 2 of them that have come back to Pelican.
Strange, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
The nose and all the changes.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have to see the rest of the world to find out what they lost.
Right.
You know what they did, what they had. I know.
They both married local girls.
Did they really?
Yes. And Erv had a son and a daughter, and they came and stayed with us on weekends. Otherwise, they were with their mother most of the time, but on weekends they'd stay with us.
And they were the same age as Iris's boys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I stayed and finished up the school year at Monticello, and then in June, some of Erv's friends came down with some trucks and moved us to Pelican then. And that's been great.
And it's been 38 years now, hasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Where did that
You've
go?
been married longer than Terry and I. We've been married going on 34, I think it is. Yeah. Wow. And
We now have 20 grandkids and 8 great-grandkids.
wow.
And pretty much all of them live within, 40 miles of us. And her son lives up by Detroit Lakes, and his daughter is the only one she lives down by Chicago.
Oh, all the way. That's long.
Yeah. Otherwise, they're all around, pretty much so, and get together quite often.
Oh, okay. Do you have big celebrations on Thanksgiving or holidays? Or
Yes, we do. In fact, we just had a fish fry on Sunday, but somebody was sick, so they didn't all get there. But pretty much Thanksgiving, usually we get together, and Christmas.
Okay.
All of them come. And they're very good about just stopping in and calling up and saying what's going on and stop in.
I won't ask the worst question. Which one do you like best? You don't do that ever. That's all right.
No.
Nope. It's like, I don't even know if there is one, by the way. None for me. I love them all
Yep.
the same. They're all
That's
the same.
right. We have to love them all the
Are
same.
you doing like my mother did now and forgetting the kid's name and go through all the names to find the one you're talking to?
Well, I used to do that more with my boys. I finally got so I'd say Mike, Tim, Pete, Rick. So I'd get one of them.
Okay. Okay, you are like my mother. Yeah.
And with all the grandkids and great-grandkids, sometimes it's hard to remember everybody's birthday.
When you want to, especially.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. It's true.
It is.
She's got a calendar with everybody's name on there, birthdays.
Oh, that's cool. So you spend quite a bit of time doing cards, don't you?
Oh, yes. fact, I just went through the ones that for this next month, and I think we have 6 this next month that cards. And we don't give gifts to all the kids anymore. Once they are out of college or are 21, then they just get a card. Before that, they all get gifts. Mm-hmm. So it just gets to, when you have that many, it's very difficult.
Yes, it is.
Inexpensive.
Inexpensive, yes. And you have to find all of equal value.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's all got to be cool. And you got to try to know what their personalities are, so you pick one for what they like. It's a challenge.
We usually give money, but I like to get some little thing for them to go with the money, especially at Christmas time, so they have something to open.
So you better spend a bit of time in Fargo.
Yeah.
At the mall or
somewhere.
Yes. Well, they get some cool stores. They have all the same stores here. That's sort of one thing that's nice. Is it used to be you come up here, and you couldn't get to any of the stores that you had down in the cities like Dayton's and Donaldson's. Now they have all those right here.
Right.
Yeah.
Isn't that awesome?
But it's too bad we don't have more in Pelican, because there isn't a lot like to buy clothing and stuff.
No. You got to compete with Ferguson, Detroit Lakes for the Walmart and Home Depot and Menards and all these big stores. It's been tough in a little town.
Yeah. You can get turkeys.
Yeah.
They got the turkey plant just between you and the post office there.
Yeah. And now in the wintertime we travel. We have a motorhome, so we take off and we go down. Well, this will be our 24th year of travel in the wintertime.
Whoa. Are you open travelers, or do you go to a specific spot?
We were for about 18 years. We traveled all over. We've been in all the states and all the provinces. And then a few years ago, we decided to stay in one spot because we've seen pretty much everything. But we do take a month to get home when we come home in the spring, and then we go different places and see different things.
Well, our first trip, I always wanted to go to Alaska. So I got a new RV in the summer before I retired. Ready to go. April 10th, 89, I retired. Told my wife, 1st of June, we're going to Alaska. No, I don't care who's getting married or who's having kids. 1st of June, we're leaving. We come back in September.
Wow, yeah, that's a long trip to Alaska.
The whole summer in Alaska. And then on the way up there was somebody having some problems, so we stopped and they could help them. In the mean, during this time, we met this couple, and they were going to up the Fairbanks. And we got acquainted with them, and he said that he had a truck, semi up there. He worked all during the pipeline days. And this fellow, and he sold it to us for making payments, so he said, I'm going to take it back and run to Fort Prudhoe Bay. This was all gravel at that time. You could not drive with an RV or a car up there. They had buses that went up. And in the haul road, it was 500 miles from Fairbanks up to Prudhoe Bay with the oil field. So we rode with him, the sleeper. They women put the lawn chairs in the back, and I sat with him. And off roads, gravel all the way. What a trip!
I bet it was awesome. That was just
watch the sun go down, and we watched the sun probably come right back up.
About 10 minutes later, didn't it?
Mm-hmm. And we saw lots of wildlife and saw all the pipeline, and he explained to us all the pipeline, which was very interesting because he helped build it. So it was interesting that way too.
We were at the Arctic Circle. We stopped there and we got on stretch our legs a little bit. So Ira went out in the woods there to see if she could pick some berries. Well, they told her if you're in the berries, I'm doing something like this, you make some noise. So she was out there singing away out there. And we got back in the truck, and we hadn't gone 100 yards, and the grizzly run right out in front of us.
Wow!
And I got a video there. You coming across the road there, and you can just see the muscles we almost hit him. And we were going downhill.
Yeah, grizzlies each one has their own personality, and most of them aren't fierce, but there are some. Man, I bet that was a cool journey up there.
Well, we both enjoy fishing, so we did a lot of fishing up there.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, and I had a friend that lived up there, so we did some fishing with them. Went up to what was the name of the lake?
Oh, Lake Louise.
Oh, Lake Louise in Alaska, not the one in Canada.
Right.
And they stayed with us in our motorhome, and we camped out there for about 10 days, and very primitive, and had a good time. Caught lots of fish. We ate fish every meal, of course.
We were fishing lake trout then.
And then we went down and fished on the Kenai River, and we caught salmon. And I had taken jars in my canner along, and I canned 100 pints of salmon while we were up there.
Wow.
It was red salmon.
Red salmon from the river. You could catch so many a day, and we just catch our limit. We go back and clean them, and then we can them. And as long as you had them canned or frozen, you could take all you wanted. So it was really nice. We also went we went down to Homer too and went fishing.
Those were halibut.
Halibut, but it was a very rough trip out to do the halibut fishing, and somebody, not mentioning names, gets motion sickness. And so it wasn't a very pleasant trip for him, but he wasn't the only one on the boat that got sick. But we didn't catch any big halibut, but we caught some halibut. So we froze that and brought that home.
Wow. So that was just a cool remembrance.
Very nice. Yeah. And we've had lots of good memories of trips we've taken and where we've gone and so forth. And we still, when we first started, we went down to South Padre Island, and we met people. Then you could park right out on the beach, and they had a place where we could go get water and dump station. So we do that about once a week, and we met all these lovely people from all over the country, and we still are good friends with them. And where we go now in Texas, some of them have bought like in there, so they are there too. So it's really, we've had some wonderful friends. I said when we start traveling that my Christmas list about doubled in size.
Well, that's wonderful. And you continue your journey, and you're going where? You told me a Norwegian festival in Minot.
Yes, of the Høstfest.
Høstfest. And what is the specialty there?
They have a lot of entertainment. Like we're going to see Chris Christopherson in Alabama, and every day they have a special entertainer. And then all throughout the whole fairgrounds, in the buildings, they have many stages, and they have entertainment on every one of these stages. And they have lots of booths. They have lots of Norwegian food, and so you can eat your way through every day.
And you went there a bunch of times, haven't you?
Yes, we've gone a number of times there.
Wow.
And then, not this summer, but last summer, we had the experience of going and volunteering at Medora, North Dakota. Have you heard of Medora? It's what do you want to say? It's a place, historic town. And
Teddy Roosevelt.
Teddy Roosevelt National Park is there, and they put on a musical every summer, and it's down in a natural amphitheater right out in the hills, and the people that put it on just do a wonderful job, and it changes every year. But we sent in a card, and they sent us back information. We had to tell them about us and so forth, and we got chose to go volunteer for 1 week. Is all that they have you do. And there were 24 of us, and they have a beautiful place for us to stay. Everybody has their own room, a great big area where we can get together. And you work maybe 6 hours a day, and there's no pay, but they give you your boardroom, so you get all your food, and you get to go to all the different attractions. So we got to go, they have what's called a fondue dinner, and they do steaks on a pitchfork. And they put them in a big vat of grease, and then they have all the other trimmings that go with it, and then they have the play. And so it was just a wonderful experience. We met some neat people out there, and we volunteered this year too, but we didn't get chosen to go. And I know people that have gotten chosen to go many times, but I don't know how they picked the people to go. But we gave some cards to other people, and one of the other couples got chosen to go this last year. So, yeah, it was just, that was really a nice experience also we had.
That's wonderful. And we're going to sort of close out now, but this time we're going to have Iris, and I'm going to have a lady say Ohman's story.
This was Erv and Iris Ohman story.
Old man's story. May Erv and Iris have one more day